and welcome to another edition of Discovery with me, Glory. I've really been enjoying recording these vlogs. It's been fun. I hope you've been enjoying watching, and thank you so much for coming back each week and watching, and for leaving your comments and for sending me emails. Today I want to talk about something that is a little personal in a way. Okay, so a few years ago, well, more than a few years ago, quite a while ago, I just felt like a lot of things were not going right for me in life. Like I felt, basically I felt like, I was depressed, that's the only way I can describe it. I was depressed. I wasn't happy. I was still in school. I was broke. I felt detached from my family. I felt detached from life. I just felt like everything was going well for everyone apart from me. And then there's just a lot of dramatic things that happened. So one day at midnight, I put on my coat because I was abroad and it was cold. I put on my coat and I walked down the road. I walked like 30 minutes. This was like midnight, so pitch darkness, yeah? I walked about like 30, it's funny now, I walked about 30, 45 minutes down from where I lived. And I decided I was going to kill myself. Yeah, I decided I was going to end my life. I decided, so there were cars were coming, so I walked onto the highway actually. And I just thought about it, I was like, you know what? All the while I was walking, I was crying. I was depressed, I was upset, I was shouting at God. I was like, why are you doing this to me? Why are you doing this to me? This person is doing well, I'm the only one, I was just really frustrated. And I just thought, you know what, I'm going to end it all. And so the cars were going really, really fast. So I said to myself, I'm going to jump onto the road and just forget about it. So I stood at the edge of the road, but I'm a chicken. so I started thinking about it and I was like, but what if the car hits me and I die? I will now go to hellfire because I killed myself. I can't live in hell and die and go to hell as well. Nah. I now thought, okay, what if the car hits me and then I lose a leg? So on top of this depression, I will now come and be paralyzed. Nah. So I realized that, okay, so I wasn't going to go through with it. But then I thought, okay, what's the next best thing I could do? So I saw some policemen coming. And I thought, okay, perfect. They're obviously going to come and meet me and say, who are you? Why are you standing here on the road at this time? All of that. And I said, okay, if they come and ask me who I am, I will say I don't know who I am. So I'll pretend like I've lost my mind. Because I think the essence, what I was going through at the time was that I didn't want to be myself. I was tired of being Glory. I wanted to be somebody else. I didn't want to be myself anymore. So the police people, they came, they passed me. They didn't ask me any question. So I was like, sugar, what's going on? So at the end of the day, I was just like, after shouting at God, saying all rubbish things, I just went home and I slept. And so I think for me, that was a really, really, really low time. And the reason why I'm sharing that is that I think that a lot of people that are in that situation or similar situations now, and I just want to share the things I did to come out of that situation. So I had my supervisor in uni at the time. I went to see him for some work I was doing for him. And he looked at me and he said, you look like someone that doesn't have a soul. That's how depressed I was. Like, you would see it on my body. You're like, you look like someone that you need help. Whatever it is that you're going through, you need to talk to somebody. And even at work, they had told me like, oh, I should go and see a psychotherapist, I should go and see this and everything. And me, I was there speaking Christianese. I was like, no, my God is a healer. Why do I need to go and speak to anybody? So I was like, God, you are the one, you need to make me better. I don't need to go and talk to anybody. So I spoke to my dad, and my dad was like, look, they're not saying that you are mental or that you have a mental illness, but they're clearly saying that you are in a confused part of your life and you need to talk to someone about it. So that's the same advice I would give. I would say talk to somebody. But I think also, even in saying that, I think that you should talk to somebody, be careful about who you are talking to. So don't talk to someone who has no interest in your life, or who hasn't experienced what you have experienced, or who doesn't really care about you, because the person will be flippant, right? You want to be careful about the kind of advice that they give you, because they have to give you good advice to help you. So I would even suggest, if you can, seeing a psychologist. Because I saw a psychologist. I'm not ashamed to admit that I did. And she was very, very helpful. I saw her for a period of over 3 months, first weekly and then every 2 weeks until I stopped seeing her. So yeah, so that's my first advice. And then she gave me a lot of practical tips. So I think sometimes we can be overwhelmed by our problems. So you look at everything you're going through and you just feel like, oh my God, where do I start from? This one is wrong, this one is wrong, that one is wrong, this one is wrong. But what I started doing was that I would take each aspect of my life and think about one thing I was going to do to change it. So for example, if it was my weight that was depressing me as an example, I would say, okay, I'm going to tackle that for the next 3 months. As opposed to, and I wouldn't think about anything else. So if it was my studies, if I felt I wasn't doing well in my studies or I wasn't doing well at my job, I would say, okay. So in a way, you have to confront some of the situations that are depressing you. It might be very difficult to do so, but you have to. So but don't look at everything at the same time. Take it in tiny bits, because when you look at everything, the emotions are so powerful. So I would say, look at bite-sized portions of your issues and see how you can tackle that. And the next thing I would say is be introspective. So think about how have you contributed to some of these issues? Because I think that sometimes we do the blaming game. We blame a lot of people for our issues. Oh, my mother didn't do this. Oh, my father didn't do this. Oh, my friends don't do this. Oh, this one. Oh, this one. Oh, if only I had a bit more money. If only I was this. If only I was that. We blame a lot of people for our issues. We don't look internally to see what we can do to change some of these issues. And it might even be true. It might be that, yes, your mother wasn't loving or your father didn't do this and everything. But that is them. You have your own responsibility for your own life. So you have to take control of your own life. So I would say stop playing the blame game and be introspective and see how you can change things. And then I think another thing I did was I stopped concentrating so much on the things that depressed me. I started thinking about the things that made me happy. So if I knew that every time I spoke to a certain person, they reminded me of my problems, I would stop talking to that person. So I was able to channel my thoughts away from the things that depressed me. I started concentrating on things, finding new things that made me happy, and started concentrating on those things. So these are a few tips. Obviously, because of time, I can't dwell on everything, but feel free to email me. Are you somebody? Also, I should say that if you are suffering from clinical depression, it is very important. Like I think in Nigeria, we don't talk about issues enough, and then two, we don't really understand the issues, the problems around mental health, and we don't seek enough help. I really think that it's something. If you are someone going through that situation, or you know somebody who is, I think you should speak out, reach out for that person on that person's behalf. I'm going to put some information on my website, Inspired by Glory, on useful contact numbers for mental health professionals that you can also contact. Feel free to email me on Glory at Inspired by Glory. The website address is inspiredbyglory.com. And please continue to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Inspired by Glory. Thank you so much for watching. I'm looking forward to reading your comments and your emails. Watch out for next week's vlogs. Thank you. Bye.